What's going on, everyone? We are almost officially through July and still no word on Kyrie Irving being traded one way or another. Whether he's staying with the Brooklyn Nets, whether he's going to the Lakers. And every hour, it seems like we get conflicting reports. One person says this, the other person says that. The Lakers are looking at options with the Indiana Pacers. It could be a leverage play to try to turn Miles Turner into Kyrie Irving, which I do think could make a lot of sense and kind of a win-win for everybody. The Lakers, they want to get Buddy Hield, but they still want to get Kyrie Irving. The Nets have said that they're not trading Kyrie until KD happens, but KD is still and very likely going to remain with the Brooklyn Nets. So do they run it back? What is going to happen? Well, we got a report from Jovan Buha about the Lakers, and it says if the Lakers were to give up 2 first-round picks, Kyrie Irving would be a Laker right now. But the Lakers feel they don't need to give up that much for Kyrie since no other teams are interested. The current offer is a first-round pick, a player, and a second-rounder. Now, we've heard basically that offer for some time now. Hey, we'll give up a player, first round, and then, a second-round pick. The Nets, they want more second-round picks. The Lakers, they don't want to give up 2 firsts. Nets are kind of teetering on, do we want multiple second rounds or do we want a first? The Lakers, ultimately, their goal is to get Kyrie Irving, but also Buddy Hield, right? That is what they want. They want a Kyrie and Buddy Hield. And, you can make the argument that the Lakers are trying to be greedy here, right? Do the 2 first-round picks, get Kyrie Irving, get this over with, move on, and be ready. But the thing is, Lakers don't have to, like Buon said, the Lakers aren't competing with anybody. Not just that, but if you could get Buddy Hield and Kyrie Irving, it's a home run, right? And your hope is that the Brooklyn Nets will cave. You still have another month and some change before you go into training camp. So it's that offer is still going to be there, right? At any moment, the Lakers could just say, okay, fine, we'll give you the 2 first-round picks. We'll give you a second and give us Kyrie Irving. There you go. Boom. Deal's done. At any point, the Lakers could do that. And at any point, the Brooklyn Nets could cave. But if you're the Lakers and you can try to finesse both sides and get a Buddy Hield and Kyrie, then that just improves your chances of winning a championship, right? A Buddy Hield moves the needle just slightly, which I don't think he moves it tremendously. I don't think the Lakers are a contender if they get Buddy Hield. I don't think they're a contender if they get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. But, if you get Buddy Hield, let's say, it takes you from a 2 to a 3, right, as far as moving the needle. But if you got Kyrie, it takes you from a 2 to a 7. Because just everything he offers, from even just a star power perspective, all of that, boom, okay, perfect, right? But so then what does Kyrie and Buddy Hield give you? It takes you from a 2 to a 9, something like that, 2 to an 8. That is a huge needle mover if you could get both of them. And in many ways, yes, the Lakers are being greedy, right? Stop, trying to get everybody you can get. But you don't need to rush it. None of these deals are going anywhere. No one is lining up to try to go and trade for Buddy Hield on a $22 million contract. Nobody is lining up to go and trade for a Miles Turner that could leave them next year, right? It's he's on an $18 million expiring contract. Now, Miles Turner, he's a player that I think many people want. I think he's a player that many people would be willing to get and sign next year, but to actually go trade for, and, there's no guarantee he sticks around, that's concerning. That is tough. Buddy Hield, he's making $22 million. Like I said, he's not going to move the needle for any team anyway. So it's why would I go and trade for that? Unless you're salary dumping. But the Pacers, they're not in that position, right? And the only team that really is in that position is the Lakers, where they just need help wherever it comes from, and Buddy Hield makes that sense. So the Buddy Hield and Indiana Pacers trade, that's not going anywhere. Kyrie Irving, that's not going anywhere because Kyrie, he wants to be in LA. He said he's going to re-sign with the Lakers next year if they don't trade for him. And, there's no other teams popping up saying, oh, we'll take him. No. So if you're the Lakers, stand pat, wait and see what develops. You also never know what tomorrow's going to bring, and there's no guarantee that the Nets actually would say okay for the deal, for the 2 first. These are all just reports. These are all just information. But, the Lakers are in a good place to stand pat because this is the NBA. 1 minute, it is total calm. Next minute, boom, it's just madness. And you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. And so for the Lakers to just pull the trigger on, let's say it's not Kyrie Irving, let's say it is Buddy Hield and, Miles Turner, right? To pull the trigger on that right now so early on, like what happens if, I don't know, let's call Bradley Beal. Say Bradley Beal decides, you know what? I really don't want to ride this season. I got my deal. Like, I need you to trade me, or just anybody. Like, what, you never know. Like, 1 minute, players are happy. Next minute, they want out. It was the same thing. Nobody thought Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving were going to be in this position. But yet, here we are. And the Lakers, they're not going to budge and trade for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner until they are absolutely certain that Kyrie Irving isn't available, which they should, right? I mean, you have these two deals on the table, essentially, right? Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris. A lot of concerns about Joe Harris, and you have Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, right? But if you could kind of mix these together and get Kyrie Irving and Buddy Hield, great. That's the home run play. But let's say Kyrie's off the table, then yes, I think the Lakers immediately go get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, right? If tomorrow the Nets say, hey, we're not trading Kyrie anymore, it's done, it's over with, we're good, move on, right? The Lakers probably, within that hour, would probably trade for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I just think that would be the case. But you wait, because Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, like I said, don't make you a contender. If you could go get Kyrie Irving and like a Joe Harris, or Kyrie Irving and Seth Curry, or, maybe you could work it out to get both, right? And on top of Kyrie, I think that moves the needle much, much further than Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I think Miles Turner makes you really good. I think the Lakers would be top 3 or 4 team in the Western Conference. But I still think that there's at least a handful of teams that are better than them. But with Kyrie Irving, I mean, now you're talking. Because Kyrie, even with Kevin Durant out, showed he could handle the offense. And the idea is you'd always have a Kyrie, Anthony Davis, or LeBron James throughout the season. And then come playoff time, if all 3 of them are healthy, how do you stop that, right? Like what do you do? With Kyrie's just creativity, being able to play make, be able to score in every facet. You got LeBron as LeBron. Anthony Davis is an absolute monster. You're a contender if the Lakers have Kyrie Irving. There's a lot of questions if you have Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. So you wait. You be patient. You never know. The Brooklyn Nets might fold. What happens if the report about KD wanting Kyrie gone is true? And we get closer to training camp, and Kevin Durant's like, I'm not going to play for you unless you trade Kyrie. I don't want Kyrie here. And he forces the Brooklyn Nets' hand to trade Kyrie. Now the Lakers get him for a bag of peanuts. There's nothing wrong with being patient. These deals aren't going anywhere. Kyrie Irving is still going to be there and available for the Lakers, or they just re-sign him next year. The Miles Turner and Buddy Hield deals, that's not going anywhere. Nobody's trading for Miles Turner for a 1-year rental. I mean, if he was if he was a superstar, then yeah, maybe, depending on what the asking price is. But he's a guy that moves the needle marginally and isn't going to make you a contender. So why would you trade a bunch of assets for a guy that is probably going to be gone by the end of the year? And then Buddy Hield, like I said, he's got a $22 million 2-year contract, and all he does is shoot. I love Buddy Hield. I think I've watched him since his Oklahoma days. But in reality, he's very one-dimensional. He's a guy that can light it up in a hurry. And he is a tremendous shooter. But he doesn't offer much outside of that. He's not a great playmaker. He's not even the greatest at creating his own shot. I mean, he can at times, but he's not like Kyrie, not like some of these other guys. I just think these deals aren't going anywhere. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think the Lakers are making the right play? Just stay patient, stay calm, do the right thing. Just relax, let the cards fold where they fold, right? Let the cards play out. Or do you think, no, get the deal done. Come on. If all it takes is 2 first-round picks, let's get it done. Problem is, we've heard this several times. We've heard this from other people, right? The Nets just want the 2 first-round picks. And so you got to ask yourself, is that true or is it not? Are the Lakers just being stubborn, or are they kind of just... are they just biding their time? I think, I've said this before, I think push comes to shove, Lakers will cave, they'll give the 2 first-round picks. If we were a week outside of trading camp, I think the Lakers would say, fine, just take the 2 first-round picks. But I think that they're we have a whole nother month to kind of figure this out, and so let's see what happens. Let's talk to these other teams, let's see if we can get some other pieces. Maybe if we can end up with 2 or 3, rotation players, why wouldn't you, let's do that. Let's get it done. But I do think sooner or later, what'll happen is the Nets and the Lakers, they'll find like a happy medium. Maybe the Lakers give up 2 firsts and like THT and and they get back, and of course Russell Westbrook, but they get back, Kyrie, they get back, Joe Harris, and they get back Seth Curry, something like that. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. But I mean, the Nets also, they can't get 2 firsts and not take Russell Westbrook. So if they really do want 2 firsts, they got to be willing to take Russell Westbrook. So that's another thing too, which wasn't mentioned in that report, which I think is interesting because you can't trade Russell Westbrook and give the Nets their 2 first-round picks. So I assume that if the Lakers give the 2 first-round picks, then they would be willing to trade Westbrook. Unless, because I don't see another way you get there. So yeah, you'd have to trade Westbrook. But anyway, again, love to hear your thoughts, opinions down in the comment section below. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot, lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.